Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to be making you salsa, and also my name is Michael Zimmerman, because I forgot to say that first. But we're going to go ahead and jump into how I make my salsa. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab a can of diced tomatoes with chilies. Don't forget the chilies, adds a little bit more flavor, definitely worth it. And we're going to go ahead and crack that open. And we are going to need a blender, or I'm going to be using a NutriBullet. And we have this little canister that we can use that goes onto it, and we're going to pour everything into there. So I went ahead and opened this up for you. And you can see those nice chilies in there. And then next we're going to need some garlic. I don't know how good a salsa is without a little bit of garlic. So we're going to need 2 cloves. Easiest way to get the shells off, or the covering, is just to crack it, and it comes right off. And boom. Got 1. So I do 2. If you want, you can always do more. It's always up to you. It's based on taste. Definitely recommend experimenting. Alright, so we got garlic. Now we're going to need some white onion. Now with this, I'm just going to cut right into it. We're going to go ahead. We only need about like 1/5. Usually I cut the ends off first. Like this. Throw that up there. And then I'm just going to cut off maybe like 1/5 of it. Maybe like a 1/6. You can do it by eye. I actually cut this a little too much, so I'm going to actually cut off a little bit because it's a little thick, a little thickened. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. You don't need a lot of onion. Onion, if you overdo the onion, you'll definitely taste it, and it will be overwhelming. So and that's why the garlic's in there. It kind of counters the onion, so it doesn't let it take over the salsa. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and grab our jalapenos. Now, based on spice, we're going to want to probably just do 1. I leave seeds in. Jalapenos aren't that spicy. Come on. So let's go ahead and just start with 1. I do make them with 2. I make them with habaneros too. Yeah, I'm a crazy person. I love salsa. I love spicy stuff. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I just cut the top off because you don't really need it. I mean, you can throw the whole thing in there. I just don't. It's all gonna get blended anyways. You wouldn't even know. So I just cut it in half just so it's easier to chop up in the NutriBullet. And also sometimes they don't fit. Some of them are too big. That was like a medium-sized jalapeno. If you have tiny jalapenos, you can definitely use bigger ones. So, or you can use more. So let's go ahead and get our cilantro. So cilantro is very important too. That's kind of like that fresh taste you get from salsa. Also from the green peppers. But I like to put about 5, maybe about 5 to 6 stems worth. I guess that's how I would go about it. Just gotta get these off here. This is probably one of the more tedious parts of making the salsa. Alright, maybe one more after this, and we should be good. But you really can't go wrong with cilantro. Like, if you want to do a bunch, go for it. It's just going to create a nice, refreshing taste to the salsa. All right, we got a little bit more here. I don't want to be wasteful. All right, I think we got it all. All right, now that we got all the veggies in, we can actually start adding some of the seasonings. So one of the seasonings I like to put in is cayenne pepper. And cayenne pepper has a very specific taste. It has a little kick to it, which of course I love. I love spicy food. So I put just a little bit, not a lot. I kind of eye it. Just wait until I cover a little bit of the cilantro. That should be enough. And then I oddly also put black pepper. It's kind of just like a peppered salsa. I want all these different tastes of pepper. So with this, you gotta be very careful, because if you add too much of this, it's just gonna taste like pepper. So you literally just do just a little bit. Just a little bit. Do not do too much. It will just, your salsa will just taste like pepper, which is what happened. All right, so that is all the ingredients so far before we blend. But one thing I do want to add is water, just because if you look, there is still a good amount of area without liquid, so it might chop up a little, not as well because it's not blending with water. So I'm gonna throw in just a little bit. If you like it chunky, you can do it like that. It also matters on what kind of device you have, because blenders might not be able to cut it up. So I have a little bit of water here. Just gonna eye this really quick. Just want to fill it up a little bit. That's good. All right. Now that we got everything in there, we can go ahead and use the NutriBullet. So this top comes off. We can just spin it on here. I like to shake it up because of the seasoning. It's gonna get blended, but either way, I just like to shake it. Get everything wet so it's easier to chop. Alright, yeah, you only have to hold it down for maybe like 5 seconds or blend it for 5 seconds with the NutriBullet. With other blenders, you might have to do it longer. Alright, so once we're done blending it, we're actually going to give it a taste. So we're going to go ahead and bust this open. As you notice, I haven't put salt in yet, and there's a reason. Because when you add salt too early, you can overdo it. Also, blending it like that, everything's just going to taste salty. I found the best way to kind of add a little bit of salt flavor is actually doing it afterwards, not during the blending process. So what I do first is make sure the salsa tastes good, and it's not too watery, and it's not too thick. Yeah, this is perfect. It catches the chip just right. It's not pico de gallo. We don't need big chunks of tomato. It's just a blended salsa. All right. Flavors are good. Flavors are good. So all we need to do now, add just a little bit of salt. Just do a little at a time. Don't overdo it. Do it very slowly and just stir. I feel like a lot of people probably have trouble with salsa, probably because too much salt, or there's a certain seasoning aspect that they're just not getting right. Alright, no, that's good. I mean, I could add a little more salt, but there's enough salt on the chips to where it compensates for not adding a lot of salt. So keep that in mind. Oh, alright, good. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate you guys being here. I know it's tough, and thank you guys for watching, and thank everyone for their time, and that is how I make my salsa. So, thank you.